We'll have some fun. Well, hopefully, it won't take too much of your time. And we'll get cracking. We'll get cracking.
All right.
I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about this. I've been itching to talk about this for a while now. Fortunately, we don't have Chad here, but
I think he's finished with it. We're close. Him and I were fairly close to each other.
Yeah, I know, but he's been almost finished for like a week and a half now. I can't wait. He told me Friday, "What's up, Maxie?" Boom. Yeah.
What's up?
The reason why I wanted him on here is he was the one that played it all in Japanese. He had such a great conversation about it too. It was so good. I was interested to see what he actually thought about it, but I wanted.
Put your fingers in. Close the door.
I wanted Lou on here because he probably has a very similar. I hear an echo. Is it me or you guys?
Echo?
Yeah, I keep hearing myself. I don't know why.
I don't have anything else.
Just double checking. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, chat. But I wanted Lou on to have a very similar perspective of me, and the JJ, I'm interested to see what he thinks about the story in this game overall, because he always has pretty interesting perspective because he usually doesn't play a lot of games like this. So it's interesting. But yo, what it do, GG Nation, GG Legion, it's your fella again, Straussman the GG. Yo, welcome to another Spoilercast. Super Best Friends Unite. We will be missing the bearded wonder himself today. He will not be here. Put the damn Fall Guys down. Come on, Chad. Come on, you're so close. You're so damn close to that, man. But this is a fair warning. This is a spoiler cast. It's been over a month, and I'm going to start with the nitty-gritty. We're going right to the jugular, the end of the game. That's where I want to actually start off with. So if you're afraid of that, or you don't want to be spoiled, I would hit the exit button right now. And I apologize if there's an echo. I don't know why I keep hearing myself. I don't know what's going on. But here we go. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. I got my panel here today. Got Skip to my Lou. You can't see him because of the twirling boxes there. Normally you would see a Fiend picture there. How you doing, Lou?
Good. Can't complain on this day.
And I got my beautiful cousin, the White Assassin, Strausszilla himself. How you doing, cuzzo?
I'm alright. How are you doing?
I'm being alright, because we are Venom.
You'll have that.
I'm having a lot of fun with Avengers. We will have that spoiler cast up once everybody plays it as well. Actually digging the story on that. Well, let's start with the nitty-gritty. I want to go right to that because I want to see what everyone picked. Because I was not expecting this. I was not expecting a choice at the end. And I want to see who's dishonorable and honorable in this party. I want to start with JJ.
I didn't know there was a choice.
Or you let your uncle live?
Oh, I didn't kill him. Hell no.
Okay.
I didn't kill him. No.
Tell me why.
I didn't even think it was a choice. I don't know. You kind of... It's the only family really you have left, huh? I know he's going to try to hunt you and shit, but... I don't know. I didn't kill him. I won. I didn't need to kill him.
It was easy for me because I just thought about my uncle, your dad, and just...
Yeah, just...
Die, you bastard! For me, I want to explain what I killed him. I chose... For me, the reason why I did it was I chose it as my last... This game speaks about honor a lot, and that's what I love about this game. Jin's inner conflict about honor. Samurai honor, and then becoming this entity, the ghost, this Batman-type figure that's using, cheap-ass tricks, using poison, disrespectful methods, decapitating his enemies, stabbing them in the back, very non-honorable ways, they would say, for a life of a samurai. And I saw it with my uncle was to give him the last respect, which is such a great, for me, I thought this story was really fantastic. And I really liked that he was going to adopt you and he was going to overlook that first moment of you being the ghost to save him. And then when you kept doing it, he was like, no, you can't fucking do this. Stop it. And Jin couldn't let it go. He got pushed on the path of, they're freaking Mongols. They're kicking our ass. There's nothing we got to use new fear tactics and be, this stuff. So Jin, that inner conflict of him giving up his honor, I thought was such a amazing story. And the fact that when you meet, the housemaid, I think it was Yuriko. I think it was Yuriko. Your housemaid, we'll talk about her more in a second, but with her actually saying your father might be more open to this tactics, because for a while Jin felt like he betrayed his father. He let his father die. He didn't think his dad really loved him, and I really thought that was pretty powerful stuff. But the reason why I chose to kill, fast forward all the way to murdering my uncle, the reason why I chose it was Jin's last moment of honor and letting go of that honor finally. This is where I'm the mantle, I'm going to be the ghost from here on out. Even though you could technically say the whole third act, he kind of let that go. He was ready the ghost in the third act of the game, the final act, the final portion of the island of Tsushima. But for me, I took it as more of a symbolic thing of me letting go of my honor for the last time, respecting my uncle's wishes for this last time, let him have an honorable samurai death. Instead of him just being pissed off for the, for the end of time, let him have an honorable samurai death and then becoming the legit ghost of Tsushima. Lou, what the hell did you do?
I killed him.
You copycat bitch.
You guys are assholes.
Yeah, go ahead, Luke.
He was going to adopt you.
The reason I did that is because he...
Hey! How dare that man try to adopt me? I'm the ghost of Tsushima. I can do what I want.
But yeah, I killed him, and the one thing I thought about is how well he treated me after my father's passing, Jin's father's passing, I should say.
He really loved you.
Yes, there was real love there, and he knew about his tactics from the Kong, from that moment in the prison when he told him, and he addressed Jin about it, and that was kind of his warning. Like, hey, you need to stop doing that type of stuff. You need to stop being so sneaky. Samurais don't do that. And that was his, warning to, I was supposed to take action, but you know what? This is me giving you a pass. And Jin kept doing it, and he knew that it was still wrong. And I thought that the only way...
But it felt so right.
Well, yeah, it felt so right because the Kong was a big beast.
Yeah.
And in order to be
incredibly strong,
you are not going to beat the Kong being a samurai.
Yeah.
And his army. So that's the way that I took it.
Okay.
And I figured at the end, with everything that we've been through, I wouldn't want to stab him in the back or leave him for dead. I mean, he's still my family. That's the way that I thought about it. And he looked out for me. So, it's just the way of the samurai. That's the way I took it. So.
I did the opposite for almost the same exact reasons though.
Yeah.
It was more of a, I looked at it, I'm not a samurai anymore. I'm not going to give you a samurai's death because I'm the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go fuck yourself. Because I thought about the way he treated me after the fact. That's what I thought. I'm like, this dude's being a real fucking dickhead. I'm just trying to win.
I thought about it more with emotion.
Yeah.
Because remember, I mean, yeah, at the end there he was
doesn't
being
have emotion.
Well,
emotion of killing your relative. At least I wanted to do it, Lou.
Lou, you remind me of Christian Bale's character in American Psycho. Everything's fake. Everything's fake emotions with you. Patrick Bateman? I don't remember what it was.
Great movie. This Halloween time, guys. So close. So close.
No, I get what you're saying, though. I understand, yeah. I guess I didn't really think about it too deeply. I'm like, I'm not killing my dad.
Well, Nate Fox would agree with you. The director of Ghost of Tsushima, he actually said the more canon ending was to let him live, to be hunted.
Well, that's the. I'm assuming that's for the sequel.
Yeah, sequel.
He's gonna end up being. Yeah, it's gonna be more of a antagonist, or maybe like a helper later. You know, one of those.
I can see it both ways though, because because if all the aides and all the samurai armor came and saw that your uncle's dead, they would automatically assume it's you and hunt you down anyway. So it could go either way. But clearly, what he said from the Spoilercast I watch, he believed in the ending. But it was very interesting that they gave you a choice. And I sat there I sent a photo to Lou, and I'm like, what? I sat there, I'm like, holy shit, I was not expecting this. This is pretty heavy. And the reason why, before people call me out of Gears 5, the reason why I really liked it about this, because I felt like this had a little bit more weight and emotion, because Jin and his uncle are very close to the adoption thing, everything like that. Well,
it was almost like father and son, yes.
Yeah, for me, it was very one-sided in Gears 5, but I won't spoil it because Lou hasn't played that.
Gears 5, it was like quick, and
it just it was out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, and it happened. And you only had a split second to.
Yeah, I literally had like 20 seconds.
Press the button.
What's up, Joel? What's up, Shannon? How are you guys doing? I thought it was. It's interesting to hear you say you didn't think about it too deep. I did. I really sat there for like a good minute, and I was like,
it took me a couple minutes as well. Like I was really thinking about that ending.
It hit me deep.
How I want to address it.
What should I do to make him happy? And to me, it was easily killing him.
Yes, that was the way I was thinking. Yep.
Because it's the very honorable way.
Stop.
It's interesting to hear. I'm interested to see what Chad chose and so many others. I think a lot of people probably chose JJ's route. Probably felt like that was the can't wait. But just for me in that moment, that was me letting go of letting go of Samurai and becoming the full Ghost, being the Batman. Some people would say the Batman of Tsushima. What's up, Zyla? How you doing? It's good to see you. Let's go into before we dive more into story. I know we just
can I talk about the title more, just for a second?
Sure.
The word Tsushima.
Yeah.
How come everyone in the game pronounces it different? I heard it pronounced 4 different ways in the game. It was crazy.
Probably just because of dialect, because we all played it here in English, right?
Yeah, yes. I thought about playing it in Japanese.
We all played it in English, but they had most of the actors. Shout out to Daisuke, he was Japanese himself that did the English version. Japanese American man himself. And most of them were. Ironically, Lord Shimomura was a white guy. And I thought he did a fantastic job. I was like, wow.
The voice acting was top notch, man. And they did a good job. I liked it.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I had to say. I didn't know how to pronounce it.
I
did, and then I didn't.
But
I think I don't pronounce it like sushi, Tsushima.
That's what I would say. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's.
Let's go to our Japanese correspondent
of saying it, I guess. But that's what I would say. Samurai Batman, yes, Joel, definitely Samurai Batman. Let's talk about the flow of the game, the combat, the exploration, the side quests, etc. Let's dive in. I also want to state this fact for a Spoilercast. This is just an open discussion between me and my panel. This is not a review of the game or anything like that. We will probably give it a rating at the end, but these Spoilercasts are just for us to bullshit for like an hour and talk about what we really think, whether it's game of the year, potential, stuff like that, which we'll get to. But let's talk about the flow of the game and everybody experiencing this game in their own way. How'd you feel about that flow? Did you feel like it was too Assassin's Creed, JJ? Or did you to Breath of the Wild, or it was a nice combo of the both?
Couldn't tell you about either of those games. Didn't really get far. I've played maybe half an hour of an Assassin's Creed game, and I didn't get too far in Breath of the Wild. I liked it. It was cool to... I thought the horse mechanic was awesome. I liked it a lot better than the horse mechanic in Red Dead.
Yeah, the horse was very smooth. That's a good call.
I liked how... Like, if my horse got shot, he wasn't dead until it was canon. Like, or whatever, you just fall off and get it back. But exploration was pretty seamless, man. You'd be driving to a location, something pops up on your screen. It was nice. And it wasn't overly difficult, but some of those platforming was interesting. And some of those what are they, shrines?
Shrines where you had to actually use the grappling hook.
Yeah, some of those were really cool. And then combat wise, man, this game it's one of the better combat games I've played in a long
I'm
time.
interested to hear you say that, because a lot of people didn't like the combat, and I thought the combat was really fucking good in this game.
I loved it. I loved the switching the stuff. I love how they incorporated to give you a choice of weapon into one. You still had your sword, but it was four different weapons essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. I love the combat in this game, and then visually, it's one of the best PS4 games ever.
Yeah, it's
especially
truly beautiful.
Get into one of those tree areas where the leaves are falling and stuff. The red,
yeah, when
cool.
It's like orange kind of looking or yellow looking, it's very beautiful.
Yeah. A little repetitive though. I think any game that has a lot of side quests, the duels got a little repetitive, but I enjoyed the hell out of this game. I was sad when it was over.
What about you, Lou? What about the overall flow of this game, the combat, the exploration, the mechanics wise, the side quests, etc.? How did you feel about it?
I thought the combat was very good. I did like the reversal mechanisms in that game. I hope I'm saying that right. I thought
like the parries and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the parries. Yes.
Yeah, those are good.
I thought they were very. They were done very well. I thought the horse riding was done very well. I didn't even think about it until you brought it up, JJ. Compared to Red Dead like that, but it was very smooth. I had no trouble, except I couldn't get him to climb down a mountain. Obviously, because he didn't want to die.
Yes. It's funny to do it though.
Yes, yes, it is funny when you see.
You gotta try everything once.
I
tried to get him to swim once and he stopped.
Yeah. The combat was good. As far as the visual, I still think that the best visual PlayStation 4 game is The Last of Us Part 2. But as for Ghost, I think it's right there. It's number 2.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game.
Yes.
Because playing those two games back to back, it was very a contrast. Where Ghost was had a lot of areas that very colorful, and you never got that in the last, which I liked in The Last of Us Part 2. But yeah, it was. I get what you're saying. I agree with that statement as well. I thought Last of Us visually was really, but yes,
I was blown away by the graphics of this game too. Because if you told me that this was if you raised my mind, you did the Men in Black thing, and you told me Sucker Punch made Ghost of Tsushima, I would have laughed at you, because going from Infamous Second Son to this, and just see how thorough they were with everything, not just the dialect, the trees, the birds, the life, the meaning, the foxes, the side quests, how people talk to each other, the honor system of samurai, the visual spectacle of the seasons. There's some snow. We get the, there's rain, there's snow, there's stuff. I like the fact that if you're more of a Ghost type player, the weather kind of changes. You see a lot more thunderstorms and rain. Very, very, I really enjoyed the combat. I actually did not get sick of the duels. I thought all the duels were pretty fun. And I kind of wish I played on a harder difficulty, because I see a lot of people comparing
this game
to Sekiro and Nioh, very fast-paced samurai games, but all three of those games are hella different. They're not the same. And I can see if you came from Sekiro playing this game that you'd be like, okay, like, the combat's
I feel like it only got Sekiro vibes because of.
Go ahead,
I feel like it only got Sekiro vibes because of the it took place in an Asian country. You know,
yes,
that's the only playing what little Sekiro I did. This didn't feel anything like it.
Yeah. That's how I felt too. But I mean, a lot of people, jumped the gun in a lot of stuff.
So did you?
Go ahead.
Did you do more sneaking around stuff? Because my favorite mechanic in the whole game was the standoff. I thought that was...
I did do a lot of that to build my, what was it, meter?
Yeah. Your...
Ghost?
I know what you're talking... Yeah, your ghost meter, yeah.
No, not the ghost dance, but the... What's it called? I forgot what they call that.
Resolve?
Resolve, yes. I did that to always build off my resolve to just murder everybody. And I did it all the time. I did standoffs a lot. But I was hella sneaky. My favorite weapon in the game was the explosive bow. I abused the shit out of that. And then I would sneak. I would try to sneak as much as possible until I got caught, and then I would just hack people up.
The standoff was my favorite mechanic, and the only thing I hated about it was I would always, pause and change my outfit so I could do 5 instead of just 3. So I would have to,
words there, Joel.
Before every standoff, I'd have to pause and switch to. I wish there was like a quick change or something, but.
Yeah, I wish there was too, because that's why I would always change my armor set every once in a while.
I change it depending on what I was doing. If I was sneaking around, I would wear the ghost armor. If I was going to do a standoff, I'd wear the Sakai armor.
I wore so much different armors in this game because I just enjoyed upgrading them and seeing them visually improve.
Yeah, it was cool. That was a cool mechanic too.
It was very cool mechanic, very visual stuff. I actually thought the combat was very fun, very fluid. They wanted you to feel surrounded by the Mongols so you could fight them off. That's why there was no L1 lock or anything like that. And I don't think the game needed that. I thought the game was very fun, and I actually really liked a lot of the ghost weapons. The smoke bomb, the actual grenade bomb, the poison dart. I would abuse the shit out of that all the time.
I use the other one a lot to make them fight each other.
I would do that with a big guy. I wouldn't do it with a little guy. The little guy would always die.
The hallucination dart was... Yeah. They had some great ideas for this game.
I can just see them expanding if they do a Ghost of Tsushima 2, because I think they will. Because this game, in my personal opinion, is a great first game. A great first game of the series to start it off. And I can see them exploring. Now that he's full ghost, they can explore a kunai with chain. They can explore a lot of different type of weapons and size, and so they can go a little crazy. And I actually really appreciate us talking about. I mentioned Nioh and Sekiro. I actually really appreciate that they did not go mythical and supernatural with this game. They kept it very real life. That a lot of those were tall tales and legends and stuff, but there was no like demons or anything to fight like that. It was all a very realistic game. Obviously, like a lot of people remember Sekiro with the demon monkey, the headless demon monkey in that game. Nioh is all about demons and stuff. They have a bunch of demons in there. Obviously, I mean they're called Oni and stuff, but I liked how they talked about those legends in here, but they're not actually in here. I thought that was really interesting. I really respect the game for not doing that. Let's talk a little bit of side quests, because no one brought that up. How'd you guys feel of all the side quests in this game? And yes, there was different arching ones. There's the tales, and there's just the regular side quests. One shot, and that was it. How'd you feel about that? We'll start with Lou this time. We'll go reverse order. How'd you feel about the side quests in this game?
I thought the mythical tales, the side quests with the more
with the fire sword and all that, the bow.
Yeah. I thought those were really good. The other side quests, like when you had to help somebody that like stole their goods, like all their goods and stuff like that. I really was not into those. But otherwise, the tales with with the people that you recruited. I thought they were really good. But yeah, otherwise, most of the time, I thought the side quests were fantastic, except for the ones where you just had
the lowest tier ones, the random ones.
The kind of the one-offs.
Ones. Yeah, the one-offs. Yes.
There's a few one-offs. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, JJ.
Well, there's two one-offs in particular I really enjoyed. The one where
there was quite a few I actually really enjoyed too. I'm gonna talk about
the one where the village, the guy was poisoning villagers, and I think there's some kind of cannibalism going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that one where you had to figure, and then the one where the guy gave up his son to the Mongols, and the son he didn't like at all. That one was really fucking
there was a lot of it's interesting to hear Lou say that. A lot of those hit me hard. I actually really enjoyed a lot of those one-offs because it showed that this real-life situation of these 1,000+ Mongols, evading this little island of Tsushima, which looked very big to us because we had to play it all. And shout out to Sucker Punch. The compression of this game of 35 gigs and how big this game really is. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm really, a lot of them, a couple of them that stuck out to me was this, this one gentleman that paid for his son and wife to be sent overseas to get to another island, to get another side of, I think, Kyoto or something. I don't remember the exact name. And then Jin's like, dude, like, that's not real. You probably just sold your wife and kid to Mongols. And then you go find their body dead. And then you have to walk all the way back and tell that man that he just killed his family.
Yeah, that was
that one
dark,
stuck
man.
out hard for me. Another one was the Buddha Sculpt that was sculpting all these things for his son. It tells you, hey, you got to find my dad. They kidnapped my dad. He's making all these statues for the Khan, and I don't like that. And you go and save his dad and let his dad, is making all these Khan statues, and you got to convince him, and then you convince him. But you go back, and then his son is dead. He's murdered. Another one I really enjoyed a lot was there was this family in a home that would not let me in. They're like, hey, don't, get out of here. We don't want to help. You're the ghost. You're this evil being. And then you end up having to look for something. I forgot exactly what it was, but you end up going and look for something, and you come back, and the Mongols burn their house down, and they're burnt to a crisp. They're dead. So, to me, those side quests hit me really hard a lot. I thought a lot of those were really well done. I think a lot of them were purposely one-offs because they're dead. Like, what are you else going to do? They're freaking dead. I actually really enjoyed those. I thought those were really well done. Especially, like Lou said, those mythical tales were fantastic. How they were etched out and hand-drawn, and they told you this legend of the bow. As soon as I could get explosive arrows, I did. I immediately went, I did it, 100%. Like I said, my favorite weapon in the game. Those hit me hard. Let's talk about some of the characters. Let's talk about our hero, Batman. I mean, Jin Sakai. Let's talk about Jin. How'd you guys feel as this new protagonist? Does he stand tall with the likes of the other Sony protagonists? Nathan Drake, Kratos, Crash. Does he stand with Aloy? Does he stand with all these characters as a Sony protagonist? Go ahead, JJ.
When you said Crash, that makes me laugh.
He was for a long fucking time, man.
No, it's just the visual in my head. You got Joel and Ellie and Jin and Kratos.
I'm just trying to make PlayStation All-Stars 2, JJ, okay?
Crash, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper.
I want that so bad.
It's an interesting visual. Yeah, I thought they did a great job with Jin. I wasn't sure at first, but his story is right up there with any Sony exclusive game. They do a great job, and it's one of the best ways you can send off the PS4. This character is going to stand the test of time. This character is probably going to be a lot of people's favorites, especially in the the twilight of The Last of Us 2 getting what it got. So this game coming out right after it. Not to take anything away from Ghost of Tsushima, but if you're a game that came out right after that, it was going to do well. So
yeah, very true. I mean, it's a valid point.
But no, Jin was a great character. They did a great job with just costumes for him, but his overall story arc it's the same way I fell in love with Aloy. The story arc of that character was fantastic.
Really well done.
They fleshed most things out. There wasn't really a beat myth like you guys said with the tales. I mean, just doing the mythical tales where you do hear a legend and then you find out it's something grounded in real life, and he was always willing to you're right in the sense that the comparison to Batman I really can make is he would do whatever it took to save Tsushima. Tsushima was his Gotham, and whether it meant being dishonorable or whatever, he was going to save it.
It's the easiest thing to compare it to because it kind of is. He becomes a vigilante. Not so honorable anymore. He really.
Yeah.
And my favorite part about this game was the honor. Him and his relationship with his uncle and with everybody, his whole allies.
Is Yuna Catwoman then?
What happened?
Is Yuna Catwoman then? Kind of leads him down.
I really thought they were gonna push that a little bit more together. Like
I'm kind of glad they walked it back a little bit.
And they did. Right at the end, and it kind of bummed me out. I was like, "Let Jin be happy, damn it! You just in my case, I just murdered my uncle."
I think it's insinuated.
Very much so. I think he does. Yuna's the one that gives him the push to go ghost.
There's two parts in the game where they insinuate that they fuck for sure.
Well, there was also with Tomoe. Tomoe wanted to have a night with him.
And
we'll talk about that in a second because that tale is my favorite tale.
That was my favorite one too.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lou. What about Jin Sakai? Is he gonna stand the test of time?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I definitely think he's gonna get multiple games. People really love him. In terms of not the people in his world, but the gamers really love Jin.
That's not very
I don't
nice.
see why
You're
not.
just saying all his people hate him.
Well, I didn't say that,
No,
but that's not They actually really go to bat for him in the game.
Yeah,
they go out of the way, and he goes out of the way for them. So, I really think that this will be one of those characters that could be the face of PlayStation going forward, depending on the next game. So, Ghost of Tsushima too. I mean, right now you got Kratos, you got all these guys, and these guys are the face of PlayStation.
Don't forget
Nathan Drake, Spider-Man. Well,
is that weird to say?
It is kind of weird to say.
Spider-Man is
you're right. I mean, most
Sony character now.
Yeah, he's up there. Spider-Man's up there. Ratchet, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. But Jin is definitely gonna be there. He's gonna be up there with the Kratos, with the Nathan Drakes. That's just my gut feeling. The Joels, and the Ellies,
the Abbeys.
A little higher than Abby, just a little bit.
Much higher than Abby. Next topic.
Don't just slander my Abby.
Damn it, I'm gonna dunk that shit. But I agree with everything you guys said. I think Jin. I thought they told an excellent. This is a classic tale of Sony taking a huge risk on something new, letting their studios flourish. And we talked about Xbox a little bit, right, in a few pods before, of, like 343 and Coalition kind of stuck doing the same thing. This is the beauty of what Sony has built with all their studios. Letting them take big chances, making new, diverse characters. A Western developer making a very Japanese game, like, through and through, to the T, and done with a lot of respect. Obviously, this is a fictional story. The island of Tsushima is real. the Mongol invasion's real, but obviously the whole poison and shit, like that whole beach was wiped out. No one survived it in real life. They were dead. But I agree with you. I think agree with both of you. I apologize. Jin Sakai definitely stands the test of time. I think he's going to be up there with the Sony protagonist. The story, I think, starts off pretty slow for a lot of people, but that relationship with his uncle and the other narrative threads that you choose to do at your leisure builds his character really, really well. And it probably takes a while for you to get used to him because he's such a goody two shoes. For a while, he's very honorable, very stoic. He doesn't talk much. But then he starts when he becomes the ghost and he starts shaping and he starts these dialogue sequences, and then Yuna pushing him in the direction and then helping people that need it the most. I think he builds a really great character, and his arc is really fantastic. I think it's really well done. Again, classic tale of Sony just taking a chance and hitting it out of the park this time. Again for the most part. And I think it's really cool to have a samurai game that is very samurai, but yet you could actually be a very stealthy ninja-like character, and in this case, the ghost, something that didn't exist. Very cool character development. Nice one there, Joel. Character development. Let's talk about the bad guy really quick. How'd you feel about the villain, the main baddie, the Khotin Khan, related to Genghis Khan? At least they say in this game. I don't think Khotin Khan was real. I don't know. You can fact check me on that. Let me know in the comments down below. But Lou, how'd you feel about the baddie in this game? Was he very good, or he was just okay? Was he a typical Uncharted baddie that just kind of gets you to the end?
I think he was just average, maybe a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because he did do some really from the tales, and the one moment that you had during the story where he takes Taka.
Dude,
takes
that
Taka.
Shit. I knew Taka was gonna die because when he took that sword out.
Yes.
But when he got decapitated in front, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
That hurt. That was like shit. That hurt. And for Yuna to be pissed off at you like that was great. But go ahead, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I'm just saying though is that I don't think that he was a top tier villain, but I think that he was a very good one. I think he did a lot of things from the Taka moment, from when he forced what's his name? Rizu? I hope I'm saying it right. Yeah.
Ryuzo, yeah.
And used him and manipulated him.
Yeah. I thought it was really good too. Really good.
I thought that he did a good job of that, but I just don't think it quite clicked for me, at least. Like that he's a top tier like baddies that we played against.
Yeah.
So but again, he did do a lot of the fucked up shit, but he didn't do I don't know, it just didn't click for me. Did not click.
Okay. What about you, JJ? What do you think of Khotin Khan?
I agree with a lot of what Lou said. After he killed Taka, it kind of ramped up there. But whenever I talk about a villain, I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but A New Hope, Darth Vader's presence was always there, whether he was on the screen or not. He was kind of there, and that's how I rank a great villain. Is you feel him throughout the whole thing, and he wasn't when you weren't fighting him or he wasn't on screen. He wasn't really, this overtaking presence like the Mongols were. Yeah. But him in particular, the villain, Khotin Khan in particular, was not a. Just until Taka got killed, his presence wasn't just, oh my god, this guy is just killing everything and just so.
He was beatable.
Yeah, and the boss guy was very. I don't know, average, but I think the journey of getting there is what makes this game great.
Yeah.
This game wasn't sold on, the same way. I hate to do this again, but the same way The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 was, there wasn't this overwhelming, like bad guy, but it was the journey of getting to or seeing out the journey that was what made the game so great. And I compare that to this, where there is a bad, there is this guy, but his presence wasn't, I didn't feel it all the time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he was very solid for the two things you guys just said, because of the Ryuzu taking your best buddy or one of your so-called close friends, and I think Ryuzu is a pretty great character because his jealousy of that one night that you overshadowed him in a tournament, he never let it go. And then he was put in this position that his Straw Hats were leaving him. They didn't find him as a good leader. And he got pressured, and he caved into the con. But I love whoever the actor is, his performance when he was burning those Japanese men alive. And he was just like, open the gate! And he was just screaming on top of his lungs. Like he was just so broken of a man. Where it was pretty easy for me to kill him. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, that's very good sympathetic qualities. And for me, it was pretty easy for me to kill him. But I thought that moment, making him do that, was really great. There was a lot of moments where he could have easily killed you, and he kind of lets you go. Very typical fictional game, superhero type game, where it's like, oh, the hero survived magically and a lot of stuff. You got to kind of overlook some of that stuff. But I understand it. I get it. I understand.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
The boss fight was, to me, underwhelming. I expected more from the boss fight towards the end against the Kong. And I felt very underwhelmed with the fight. At first, it started off really badass. And then I was like, he's kind of in the mix in this ship of people that you're just beating their asses over and over again. And I just kind of thought that was very underwhelming. I kind of expected something that we haven't seen that he would do in that fight. Really powerful. But he was just, to me, a little bit more than average in those fights.
Especially me, I was fully powered up. I had every single thing.
Well, when you do that, once you get through the duel, and you're right, he just becomes another Mongol, is all he is.
Yeah.
He's in a crowd of Mongols. He just becomes one of those a little beefier armored ones, is all it was.
Yeah, Sony's always kind of struggled with this a lot. A lot of the Uncharted games and Last of Us. Hate to bring those up again, but...
Well, no, but... I mean, that's what you're comparing it to, is the other Sony
their
exclusives.
Boss fights end up being very generic and very...
They are very... that's the... Thank you. The Days Gone was another one, but they've really gotten, like you said, they give their studios freedom, and they've really gotten good at storytelling, where the boss doesn't necessarily have to sell the game.
And you're right.
This one encounter where, like, even the Arkham games, where not the bosses, the gameplay and the mechanics are good, but you're there to see Batman's rogue of villains. You're Batman. You want to fight the Joker. You want to fight Two-Face. You want to, those help sell the game. When you play a Spider-Man game, what's one of the first things you look for? Oh, what villains are we gonna fight? Who are we gonna? Yeah. So this is more of a journey.
Story's very important, for most of us here,
story,
it is.
Yeah. Where's the story taking?
So, who was your favorite out of the four main? Lady Masako, Sensei Ishikawa, Norio, and I guess we can add Yuna and Kenji in there too. Who was your favorite out of those side characters, and what was your favorite tale out of all of them? I'm going to start with me, because I'm awesome. I'm going to start with, for me, Sensei Ishikawa, really, he was my favorite out of the side stories, the tales. His tale, and most of them had 9. Yuna, I think, only had 4. Kenji had, 3. But Norio and Ishikawa and Lady Masako each had like 9 like arcs. Like you had to go through a lot. And his story of his pupil that he really loved and respected was very similar to what you're actually going through with Lord Shimomura, you know? So, from his perspective. But she goes rogue. She's an incredible archer. Starts killing everybody. And it's an amazing story. And at the end, I really enjoyed that she was like, she wanted to actually be allies with you. And she mentioned she's going to go open up like a hotel in Kyoto. So I don't know if we'll ever see her again. Maybe we will. But Sensei Ishikawa himself, I really like that he was considered one of the best archers in the game. Teaches you the longbow. You become his new pupil. And he's kind of there for you the whole time. Like, even when you become full ghost, he talks to you about it a little bit, but at the end, he's with you full board. So that was my favorite one for me. I thought it was such an interesting tale, very deep, very interesting to see how smart she was, how strategic she was, and then to see the humanity in her, that she just wanted to open this place in Kyoto and wanted to hang out, have one night with, Jen, and Jen was like, Silencio, no! I have Yuta. But what about you, Lou? Who was your favorite out of those I named?
Lady Masaka.
Masako.
I felt Masako.
Yes.
Let's say Masaka with an A at the end.
Yeah, you said A, but it's all right.
Her story hit me different because I really felt her pain in terms of basically losing everything, her family, trying to find out who did it, and then at the very end you find out that twist that it was her sister who she thought she buried.
Yes, that was very powerful. I mean, damn.
Yes, I thought that was by far the best one. The only thing I didn't like was how it ended. I kind of thought that she should have killed her and her sister not killing herself. But otherwise, I thought it was really good. I thought it just took. I definitely did not expect that.
Yeah,
I did not expect that at all.
All these tales, you could say that for all of them. I didn't expect it to end. Yes. I thought we were going to kill Tomoe. I thought we were going to murder her. That was the whole plan, was to murder her. But we let her go off to Kyoto. It was really shocking to me. And just like Lady Masako, you fight her in one of those tales. You end up having a duel with her, and then you're like, dude, enough of this. Like, this is not how it's supposed to go. And then you find out the big reveal of the sister, and it's very interesting. It's a very detective case with that one, and I like that one a lot too. JJ, how about you?
I think Ishikawa was my favorite. Like, overall arcing. I think the biggest twist was the Masako.
Yes.
So I guess I'll talk a little about Norio, where his was a good one too, where
it turns very dark.
He trying to save his brother, or not trying to save, but trying to avenge his brother because he thinks his brother's dead. Ends up finding him at the end, and just he didn't have arms or legs, right? They just fucked him
mutilated,
up. Yeah, that was.
And he had to kill him. It's heavily implied that he killed his brother.
Yeah, he had to put him out of his misery, I guess. Was that a way of it? But you guys already talked about the two best ones. I think
Norio's is up there. I think it's pretty good. And Kenji's is just funny as shit because he's just an asshole. He's just a drunk asshole.
All kind of.
Oh, he's funny.
They all kind of hit. Good. Yuna's tales are good.
Yeah, finding out Yuna and Taka being, diddled.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. Well, that slave camp.
Hate to bring that up on YouTube. Demonetized right off the rip.
Can't talk about children.
But
they're going to take away our comments.
That was very interesting. That Taka didn't remember it, but Yuna could not let it go. So to get revenge on that guy was, very powerful. Like, I think these, these stories were really well put, well thought out, well written. Even the one shots. I don't think those were simple, just write it and we toss it. I think all of those had really good meaning in it. We gave you a few examples of each. Let's talk about.
I also like the going into the Mongol camps.
Yeah.
Because a few of them were repetitive, like, hey, just go here. But a lot of them they rewarded you. You had to defeat 6 of them to get new armor. You had to do a few other ones where you do it and you get things. It wasn't just go in here and save this.
After each new act, too, the Mongols got a lot better. They got a lot harder, too.
Yep.
They get
smarter
they had
and
newer armor types. They had falcons.
Mm-hmm.
It was really well done. Obviously, you get the pretty OP ghost dance, and you just wreck everybody. That was so cool.
Oh, that thing was. I think to feel this game's true effect, I'm going to replay it one time in Japanese.
I'm thinking about doing that too, because we had a moment of silence on stream and Twitch. We had a moment of silence when I did my platinum run and platinum it, because I knew I was going to miss it. I still miss it to this day. It was such a fun game to play.
Dude, the DLC is going to be dope.
Yeah,
all 3 of us together.
We'll have it reinstalled. We all play together. I'm excited.
Yep. Yeah, but I like...
you. Or all 2 of you, sorry.
And I also like the... we didn't talk about it, but the wind kind of leading you and stuff. I thought that was a neat mechanic.
Yes, kind of guiding you.
I've never really...
the birds, the haikus. I actually really appreciated the haikus, that you made your own haikus.
What did they say was behind that? I'm sorry, JJ. They said that the wind was his father and the birds were his mother or something like that.
Yeah. And they kind of
wow, that's pretty.
And
neat.
it was.
Damn.
I knew the wind was the father, but I think you're right about the birds being his mother. Because it's a neat mechanic I don't think I've ever seen before. Where if you follow a bird, it's going to take you to a collectible
That's
or a haiku.
That's why I'm very interested about Valhalla, because it's gonna Assassin's Creed. If you guys don't know. That it's going to have a similar style that you have to really explore and just figure out. They're not going to have a million things on the map for you to look for, like Odyssey and Origins. That's why I'm really interested to see how that goes. Let's talk about... We forgot to talk about Lord Shimon. We did talk about him a little bit. But overall, as a character, how'd you guys feel about him?
I thought he was... a good character. He, the father figure to Jin, and really picking up, when you see that cutscene where Jin kind of, it's hard to say a kid let his father die, but kind of just watched his father die.
Well, that's how he feels for sure. He feels that guilt.
Yeah, I know, but for sure. Any normal person would. It's
not me.
It's just hard to blame a child for But I get what he's feeling. But Shimura takes you in and truly teaches you how to be a samurai, and then the game slowly breaks all that down.
He cared. He gave away everything for you, essentially. He never remarried. He never had another child. He since the beginning ever took you in. He wanted you to be the next heir.
How old do you think he was
when he?
There was a back and forth between Jin and Shimura, where they're talking about him remarrying and you can have children and you're not too old. I'm like, I don't know, man.
The end, yeah, you're right at the end.
Yeah, I think you might be too old.
Probably in his 60s, I would say.
Unless, because people didn't live that long back then, right?
You would think so.
So he's probably like
the 1400s.
He's probably like a really old 35, right? He's like a 33-year-old that looks like he's ancient.
To me, I
not
don't know
ancient. He didn't look ancient, but
so maybe they lived a lot longer.
That's you got a point.
But I don't know. But he was on the front line. He was fighting, dude.
You risked everything, man.
But he risked everything for you, and that was such an interesting conversation. And when he brought that up, I knew we were gonna fight. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, this is it. I was like, oh no. Like my heart sank. That was so well done. Lou, what'd you think of Lord Shimura?
I thought he was a father figure that was stuck in his old ways.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And we had to witness Jin become a man and stand up for himself. And that's literally what I took from Lord Shimura. I mean, I think he's too hard-headed.
JJ,
he was
lick
not.
A little more. Lick a.
He was he was not willing.
Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead. You're good. Just giving our fans something, for tonight, baby.
But he was not willing to change. He was too much concerned with with the old samurai way, and was not thinking about his people. I didn't think. That's my personal opinion. Is he thought that he was doing the right thing. It's the old way of thinking. I deal with that a lot around me. But sometimes the new way is the good way. So, rest in peace, Lord Shimmer. So, the new dog is taking over now.
I can see it both ways, though. Because this man really gave up everything. And the thing about it, what I really loved about this game, about the Honor, is that it's just not one story plotline. It's the whole story. It's something they're raised from birth, that you don't do this. Like, you don't, you do this way, and it has to be this way, Jin. I'm sorry. And I love that conflict, and I think it's well done. Whether you agree with it or not, I can see both sides of the argument. And yes, for us in the 2020, 2020, it's easy for us to be like, yeah, I'd fucking just be dishonorable as fuck, because I would totally just be Ghost 100%. But if we grew up and we were born that way, we were born in this ideology that we had to do this our whole life. That is our whole life. We die with honor. We don't live very long. We die with honor on the battlefield, and that's what matters. And I don't want that to be overlooked. And I'm not saying anyone did here or anything like that. I think that's what the whole purpose was, and that's where Lord Shinomura is coming from. And that's why I really love about it, and that's why I think it's so powerful, is if you get that, and you see that, and you see his pain, where he tears up, and he has the note, like, I was going to adopt you. You were my flesh and blood. You are my son. And to see that betrayal hurt him so much, and I thought that was really great. I do agree that I think he was stuck in his old ways. And that's why I thought it was really cool when Yuriko told you that your father probably would have been more open. Him and Lord Shinomura used to fight. Him and his brother used to fight about the samurai code over and over again, which was really interesting, because Jin would have this idea in his mind that his father didn't love him, and his father was very strict and hard on him. And I really, at least that's how I took it. I don't know how you guys took it, but that's how I took it, and I really enjoyed that. I think this is a very powerful story. I think it's really told right. And it's interesting to see the review scores and see some people, discredit this game and say it's too similar to other games. To me, I thought this was a very fresh and unique experience for me. Let's talk about some of our favorite weapons in the game, and then we'll close it off with some story and Game of the Year talk.
I'll be right back.
What was some of your favorite weapons in the game, Lou? Did you lean more samurai, or did you go more ghost?
I enjoyed the ghost a lot more, because I just figured that I can, with the way the game's mechanics was, I thought I could just get around so easy, stealth people. I did enjoy the stance, but I would scout the area first and see how many people were there.
Yeah.
Because, you got like 20 people in there. It's cool being a samurai.
Some of those camps got really big at the end. It's very true.
Yeah, and the coolest thing would be to work your way from the back all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. I enjoyed the bow in particular. I thought it was very smooth. I did enjoy throwing the knives.
Yes, I used the kunai a lot, man.
Yes, I thought they were very awesome, especially in a fight. I would just use everything when I was in a fight, acting like my life was on the line. So, never save them, because you would just get them again anyway. I've never been a big fan of saving things for later when the game gives you so many more and more to get later, or as you're cleaning out an area.
I think that's a really good point. This game's very versatile to all people's play style, how you want to play it. You have a lot of different things to use at your disposal. For me, my favorite weapon for me, I probably played a good majority of Ghosts for sure. I had a lot of rainy weather and stuff, but I was like you, Lou. I would adapt to the situation. I would do standoffs when I needed to a lot. When I had an opportunity, there was like 4 enemies on front. I'll do a standoff, kill them all, get my resolve back, and then go sneak. Take out all the archers on the towers with my explosive arrows. That was my favorite. Longbow, explosive arrow was my favorite weapon. I didn't use the fire sword that much. I thought it heavily inconvenient a lot of times.
Yes.
It's cool looking as shit, because fire is one of my favorite things. But the fire weapon, very cool idea, but I thought it could have been executed a little bit more. Explosive blow was my favorite. I do love the kunai, like you mentioned before, Lou. If I had like 3, because I upgraded all the way up, and if I had like 3 people in front of me.
Me too.
And I just boop and just kill all 3 right in the throat. Really enjoyed that weapon. I enjoyed when you got Ghost Dance and you snuck up behind a commander and decapitate him, you get full Ghost Dance. I actually appreciate the dismemberment in the game. You don't see it a lot, but when you do, it feels great. It feels great. How sickening that sounds, but when you do like the Thunder Slash or whatever, and you just kind of glide across and you just whack their arm off, and they're just dead and they're just bleeding out. Very cool weapons. Very cool. What about you,
decapitation?
JJ? Were you more samurai,
you don't get to later.
What weapons? What were some of your favorite weapons? What happened?
What'd you say, Lou?
No, I was gonna say the decapitation you don't get until later, because when you first start out the game, you would just you would just like tickle him. It would be like a little stab to the neck, and he would just turn around.
You couldn't do it. Yes, you're right. You couldn't do anything at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, the obvious answer is the sword, right? I like the what's the one where you do like the?
That was my favorite.
Where you do like the 4 hits.
Yes.
Whatever mythical quest that was.
Cool.
I love that you could use that in duels too. They didn't limit you in duels to. So I like that aspect. My favorite was the sticky bomb though. I'd fuck around, try to get them gathered up as much, throw a sticky bomb, blow them all up. I love the end suffering mechanic. I would do that a lot.
Yes,
that was fun.
Yes, that was very cool.
Yeah, you get that, and then but. Yeah, the longbow, I use that more than the half bow. The explosive arrows were awesome. I agree with you guys on the fire sword. A lot of work for something I didn't use that much. The whole like you had to be like fire or else you'd freeze to death. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
But a lot of work for me for something I maybe used twice.
Yeah, I used it a couple times too, and that was about it.
I used it right away because it's and then I found myself on accident using a lot of things because I tried to use something else, and you're like, oh shit. But the kunai were good. What was the other? The smoke bomb. The smoke bomb worked really well because if you're in trouble, throw that and you could go. But yeah, I like the 4 stances for the sword. I thought that was a brilliant idea to give you. It's kind of like when you in the old games, like you'd have Ken and Ryu, just pretty much same dude but different color. It was a lot like that to try to save expense and still feel very different. All 4 stances felt very different, and it was a rock paper scissors mechanic. So, I think the sticky bombs were my go-to.
Especially when you kick somebody off a ledge, that was so cool. Oh. You set them up, you stun them with like a kunai or something. Boom! Sparring kick.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. We talked so much good in this. Was there anything you disliked, story related, mechanic wise? We talked a bit. I think this is one of the best openings to a video game. That War on the Beach, War on Moda Beach opening where you're riding the horseback. I'm like, oh shit, this is epic as shit.
Yeah, that's. I don't know how many video games do that now, where they give you everything right away and take. I know God of War did that in the later ones.
Yeah.
Or
Metroid
after
does that all
one.
the time. Metrovania type.
Yeah. Where you have a lot of stuff and then they
take it away.
Take it away from you, and you got to get it out back. But that opening was kick ass. And the whole game overall was pretty kick ass. Like there's definitely downbeats to it, but I struggled with some of the kind of like you with Days Gone. There's some glitches where I had to restart the game, where I'd get stuck in between rocks, and I would have to restart the game and stuff. But it wasn't anything that like where I would just snap a game in half or get real pissed off. Like,
the only thing I ever saw was I got stuck in a bush and the game would just pop me back out after a while.
Yeah. So there's little. I had a few. I had 4 or 5 instances where it kind of, but it wasn't anything. Nothing crazy.
Was there anything story-wise you didn't like?
Story-wise,
started out too slow, or was there certain characters?
No, I thought I liked the pacing of the game. It's tough. I don't know, for the last 3 or 4 years, you and I have played pretty much every major game that comes out now.
And did a Spoilercast for it,
outside of a few, I didn't finish Sekiro. I don't know how far you got in that game.
Platinum, bitch.
No, you didn't.
Or you invading my privacy? You looking at my profile?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I do. I stalk you all day. I got nothing better to do, Levi. But I like the pacing of this game. It was nice to play an open world game that didn't take 80 hours.
Yeah, the plat's about 50.
So I don't have much to complain about. Just a few glitches that didn't break the game, and the story I thought they handled well. I thought there's everything had its purpose to me. Everything was kind of there for.
Okay, that was shocking for me to hear, because when I asked you a few weeks ago, you were like, "Oh, the story's just okay."
Well, it's not. You gotta remember, I'm one of the few, but I just came off of The Last of Us 2, and I thought that was maybe the best PS4 story ever. So I just came off of that, and I know I'm in the minority on that.
Yeah.
But that's how I felt about that game. So jumping right into this afterward.
Yeah, it's a
really good story, but I don't think it's anywhere near that.
Okay, well, fair enough. What about you, Lou? What'd you feel was there anything story-wise, mechanic-wise, anything disliked about this game?
I didn't really experience those glitches that you guys experienced.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I have the Pro. I don't know if you guys have the Pro or
JJ has the Pro Spider-Man one.
I got the Spidey Pro.
Okay, I did not really experience those glitches, but like I said before, the boss fight was a little underwhelming for me.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting here thinking that this was gonna be a big badass boss fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it started to. And I thought that he was going to take a different turn, maybe use a different weapon that we haven't seen in the game, that we would have to adjust to. And it was just like I was fighting him from the beginning. You were
waiting for him to hulk up, right?
Huh?
You were waiting for him to hulk up, right?
Yeah.
You kick his ass, and then boom, leg drop.
Steel chair!
I was waiting for some... I was waiting for something different, and I did not get it. I was a little disappointed. But as far as the game starting out slow, I did not feel that way. If anything, I thought
the game was perfectly paced.
Yeah, I thought it was a lesson. I thought it was a lesson that the samurai way was not going to work in this instant.
Yeah. Because
we're fighting like samurais. We even go over and fight the Kong, and he just kicks us off the bridge, and we have to start over from new. And I just thought it was a lesson. I thought everything I didn't find a slow part of the game. I did not. And some of the reviewers said it was repetitive, which I'm very disappointed that they said that because I didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything was repetitive. Maybe a couple of side missions here and there, the ones that were not tails, the random ones. But otherwise, those and some of the random side missions. Well, it's just like, hey, like they steal my goods, go get them back, or hey, they ruined my area, go hunt them down. But there were some random missions, as you mentioned earlier, that did have meaning. So
there's a handful. Yeah, I agree. The only part I found repetitive really is some of the Mongol camps where go rescue 4 people.
Yeah,
you gotta run around and rescue 4 people and rescue, some of the. But they even mix those up where, not everyone, they throw in a few that are different than that. So, yeah, I didn't feel too repetitive. I wanted to keep going, and to me that's a good story. If I don't ever put it down, or if I very rarely put it down.
Yeah.
If I'm given the time, I'm gonna keep going.
After I got back from vacation, from seeing JJ and the family, his dad and everybody, I platinum this game, beat and platinum this game, I think in like 6 days. And a lot of people are like, wow, what the hell? I just could not put this game down. It was very fun for me from beginning to end. The exploration, the haikus, the fox dens, everything. I wasn't bored about anything. The combat, the story, the side quests, everything felt very natural, felt very fluid. Didn't feel forced. There's a lot of times in like previous Assassin's Creed, especially Assassin's Creed 4, my first ever PS4 game, where there was a lot of side quests and stuff like, damn, I don't want to do any. Like, I don't want to go over. I don't want to do any of this shit. Where this game, I felt compelled. I felt awesome. I've had so much fun in an open world game, even in Fallout, like Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Some quests and shit for me like that, where it's like I'm kind of just, it's like a normal fetch quest. And we talked about this in our Final Fantasy VII Remake Spoilercast. There was too many fucking fetch quests. There's a quest about cats. That's like the first quest you freaking do.
And I love cats.
And it just that works in like 1997, but we're in 2020, and I feel like this game feels 2020. It feels very modern. I really enjoyed everything about it. I really didn't have any complaints, really. I only experienced that one glitch where I tried to jump on a rock and I fell like in between the bush and it just pops me out after a while. I just found it funny. I thought it was hilarious. Where even my Days Gone playthrough, a lot of you guys watched, where I fell through the Ripper camp. I thought that was funny as shit. It didn't hurt the game or anything. It was just funny that I'm just walking in this Ripper camp and I just fall.
That's a lot of.
I thought
a lot of YouTubers make their money doing that shit.
I think this game's incredibly well polished, much more polished than Days Gone. Very fun story, incredible characters: Jin, Shimura, Norio, Sensei Ishikawa, Lady Masako. I enjoyed all of them. Yuna, fantastic characters. The tails, the weapons. I can imagine where they're gonna go with ghost weapons now. The frickin' the bamboo pipe where I just shot poison. That's one of my favorites too. It's so good. All right, let's get into an interesting topic. This will end the podcast. We're going to end it on here. Is this game of the year worthy? I said this on previous podcasts. Lou and I had a very interesting discussion a few nights ago. But this was my game of the year list as of right now. It was Ghost of Tsushima, Animal Crossing, Doom, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us Part 2, and the final one, I believe, was Cyberpunk. Those were the 6 games I put on here. Is there a problem with any of those games that you see? Is there a glaring thing you see, a glaring pattern that has never happened before? And I had to point this out because I really thought about this.
Was it 4 Sony games?
There was 3 Sony games on that list. I don't think.
What is there? Four exclusives on that list, right?
There's 3 Sony exclusive lists.
Well, no, the Animal
Nintendo's
Crossing
other
is
exclusive, yes.
and then Animal Crossing Nintendo.
Yes.
Because
I really
Ghost,
thought about
Last
that.
of Us.
Go ahead.
I don't have a problem with that list. I personally would take Final Fantasy VII Remake off and put on Persona 5 Royale. Persona 5 Royale.
Again,
To me,
that's
that's the
4
second
Sony
best.
exclusives. Or there's still 3
Yeah.
Sony exclusives. But
That to me, that was the second best game of the year.
yeah.
This but I don't have a problem with that list. I'm anxious to see what Cyberpunk is.
Yeah. This happens every year, unfortunately. There's snubs every year. What's up, Allie? And Snowflake. This happens every year with snubs. And Lou, I remember Lou last year that last year wasn't that big of a gaming year. And I would disagree. There was huge snubs. There was Devil May Cry 5 that didn't get nominated for Game of the Year. There was Fire Emblem 3 Houses that didn't get nominated for Game of the Year.
Okay.
You know, there was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order that was snubbed and did not get nominated for Game of the Year. This happens every year. And Fire Emblem 3 Houses had an 88 Metacritic and got snubbed. And it ended up winning to the point where people were so upset that Jeff Keighley opened up what's it called, the fan voting. They did a fan voting Game of the Year, and Fire Emblem 3 Houses won it. And it wasn't even nominated for Game of the Year. Again, for our panel, we had this issue last year as well. Some of our panel wanted Kingdom Hearts on there. Some of our panel wanted Borderlands 3 in there. I didn't think any of those games were top-tier quality to be Game of the Year. I thought there was far better games to be. But I know a lot of people had a problem with Control, and I can see after platinuming and beating Control, I can see, yeah, maybe that shouldn't have been on the on the list for Game of the Year. But it won a lot of Game of the Year awards from other publications. The thing about Game of the Year, don't get emotional about it. Don't put your emotions in it. It's a Critic Choice Award. Because a game gets nominated or wins Game of the Year doesn't make it any less better than the game that you played. Some of our panel gets emotional about that. Or they did. I mean, it was just that time. It was pretty funny. That Borderlands 3 discussion was
subjective.
hilarious. Yeah, it's all perspective. Yeah.
It's all subjective.
From day one, didn't I not? That Persona 5 Royal is undoubtedly my game of the year. Is the best game this year. Hands down. Even Metacritic-wise, it's the highest rated game this year. Higher than Last of Us Part 2. But it will not be nominated for Game of the Year. And that does not bother me. It's not the end of the world. It got nominated for Game of the Year 3 years ago. I can live with that.
And that's why it won't this year, because there is enough new stuff in it, but
yeah,
it essentially
to
is.
me, it's essentially. You're gonna probably say essentially the same. It's not. It's essentially a brand new. There's so much new in that game that fundamentally changes the story of that game. That it probably warrants a look. Maybe it gets nominated for the fan vote, but this is what I'm going to say about Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's going to get snubbed. It got an 83 Metacritic. Critics that are going to vote for this don't really love this game. They want Last of Us Part 2 to win it, so this will probably be on the fan vote, and probably Persona 5 Royal will be on the fan vote as well. Again, not the end of the world. I think it deserves it, but we have never seen, and I'm not saying it can't happen, we have never seen more than 2 exclusives be nominated for Game of the Year from that same company. 2017, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Persona 5. 2018, God of War. I'm forgetting Nintendo as well. Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild.
And Breath of the Wild both got nominated, yeah.
Which one?
Breath of the Wild and Odyssey both got nominated.
2017. No Microsoft, nothing.
Four of the 6 games were...
2019, Death Stranding, another big profile PlayStation exclusive.
What'd you say for
PlayStation exclusive? There's going to be 2.
What'd you say for 2018, though?
What happened?
You forgot one. You forgot one in 2018
I think it was only one. I think it was just God of War. No, Spider-Man. They had 2. They had 2 on there as well. We just have not seen more than 2. And the 2, I think, is going to be Last of Us Part 2 and Fire Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think those are the top two. Final Fantasy VII Remake has 87 Metacritic. I don't think it's nowhere near as good as Persona 5 Royal. I think Ghost...
That's my argument.
I would put Ghost above it as well, but the Metacritic's going to hurt Ghost, and I think it's going to get snubbed. I think it's unfortunate. You never know. We don't know, because we don't know about the PC world either. I want to go to Lou on this, because he really wants Ghost to be nominated. For a lot of people, this is their game of the year, Ghost of Tsushima. I've seen a lot of my friends, a lot of my YouTube friends nominate this game for their game of the year. Go ahead, Lou. I'm sorry.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
What did you guys think of Cyberpunk?
I don't know much about it, Lou, to be honest with you.
It is the most hyped game this year, and it's going to be nominated. If it's not,
I don't get that. Like we're already putting it on a list of game of the year.
Yep.
That game is not coming out till November. So can we put that game to the side until people actually play it? And I'm not saying it's gonna be bad, and I'm not saying it's gonna be great. But right now, that game probably has the most hype since GTA and Red Dead.
Yes, very true. It's the hype game this year.
Where it's almost like people are already giving it the game of the year, and that game's not even coming out till November. So can we put that to the side for now?
And there's no.
Go ahead, Jason.
There's no guarantee it comes out in November either, Lou.
Yeah, Death Stranding came out November 15th. It was nominated.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no guarantee that it's even gonna be.
It's already been pushed back twice. They might just go. We're just gonna go new gen, or next gen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you. It's a hype train, but it's a hype train that.
Yeah.
When you see every time you see a hype train, they get nominated, right?
It's
no,
critical.
I know.
It's not our vote. We don't have any say.
Because Death Stranding was nominated, right, for Game of the Year?
Yes.
And that was like an 83 Metacritic.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't very high. It was an 83 or 84.
Yeah.
But
it's not because the game's
makes
not
it
great, JJ. It's because there's two exclusives ahead of it.
I just think, in my opinion, if Final Fantasy VII Remake's going to get nominated, then Persona 5 should as well. They're both remakes or, repackaged.
I would say that's very generous, JJ. I would say Final Fantasy VII Remake is a full remake. Not of the full game, but of that Midgar saga, of course.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's if that's the qualifier, Persona 5 is.
Yeah.
To me, it's.
Well, it's great that you look at it that way, but the critics are gonna be like, "Yo, we played this game before, and we're gonna, it won't be nominated. If it gets nominated, great. I'd be so ecstatic. I'd be so happy. But it will not change my opinion in that or anything. And I don't think critics are bad. I don't think they're evil. I don't think they have it out for Persona. They obviously nominated it. I just think there's a lot of great games, and I think the clear vote for Game of the Year is going to come down to a two-horse race. I think it's Last of Us Part 2 or Cyberpunk, unfortunately, for a lot of people.
But to answer your question...
But go ahead, Lou, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, to answer your question, yes, I do think that it should be a nominee. I guess I'm saying it right. I agree, too.
It should be a nominee, yes.
I don't think it's going to make it, though, because of the low Metacritic score, and to those reviewers, I say shame on them, and they should try to play that game again and be a little bit more open-minded about what the game really can provide you.
Gentlemen, it really have been a fantastic year of video games. I mean,
and I'll say that same thing to the users who scored Last of Us Part 2 and didn't fucking play it. Have an open mind and see what the game can give you.
Well, there's a difference, though. My voice doesn't matter. Whereas
your voice does matter, Lou. To me, it does, buddy.
Well, yes, to you, yes.
To me, buddy.
To you, but in terms of the game of the year, like that user score is not going to stop Last of Us from being there.
I think
it's going to win it.
I think it benefits Ghost of Tsushima though, being that high.
Yeah.
I think the user score does pull a little weight, not a lot. Yeah. But I mean, the user score might get EA to totally change Madden. I think the last time I checked it was a 0.3.
But yeah, that's the worst game this year now.
It's what makes you money though.
Yeah. They don't matter. Like EA don't care though. They're making money. It doesn't matter. We bought.
I don't know. Well, I'll say this: EA doesn't care. The NFL will.
Yeah.
They do. They protect their brand, and if their brand is getting shit on,
what was the user score of last year's Madden though?
It was like 1-something, right? I mean, it's steadily went down. Yeah. So
my question to you though, JJ, would you put it on there? Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Like I said, to me, it's the third best game I played this year, and I've played a lot. So to me, it's the third best, and my top 3 are not separated by a lot.
Yeah.
Like you can put them in any order you want.
Out of the 6 I just named, though, what's getting snubbed? Is Doom getting snubbed? Animal Crossing?
Doom.
I think Doom would get snubbed, and Doom is a great game. It's one I haven't played yet, and that's one I'm going to play eventually. But
what would you replace Doom with then? If we kept Ghost and we kept all the PlayStation,
right now your list is perfect. I wouldn't change anything off.
Yeah.
I think
just a fun question out of you guys. Like, if out of those 6, like, what is gonna get snubbed?
I would change Cyberpunk for now until Cyberpunk came out. I'm talking about right now. I think that's
a lock, Lou. Again, I think it's between Last of Us and Cyberpunk.
I get that, but we're talking right now, and Cyberpunk is not out right now.
All right.
I would change it to
P5
you're right.
Royal. We'll find out pretty damn shortly if it's getting pushed back. To me, I think Cyberpunk's done, and they pushed it back because they want to launch with the next gen consoles.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious that it's not done yet because they've actually talked about that they're redoing the melee system.
I know. I saw that video, and that's true, but it doesn't matter. They legit want to launch with Xbox Series X and PS5.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
I could see that being pushed back. Like, I could see it being pushed back again because they want to make it perfect. Yeah. The game. It's there, and they want to make it great. They want to make it perfect. And if they don't feel comfortable that the melee system is not ready in time, they could push it back another month.
They're going to push it back to December so they can win Game of the Year next year.
Very true.
Maybe.
A lot of people forgot about last year, right? Super Smash Brothers was on that list. 2019, when in reality it came out in 2018.
There's always a good... Well, there will always be a Nintendo exclusive on there.
Yes.
I think the only year that there wasn't... Was there one on 2018?
Wasn't that Odyssey?
We had God of War.
No, that's 7.
We had Celeste,
God of War, Red Dead,
Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Spider-Man. I believe that was the 6. There was no Nintendo game.
The Switch came out in 2017, right?
Which one?
The Switch.
Yeah,
the Switch
came out
itself.
2017, March of 2017. Yep.
Yeah. It's an interesting discussion. I think it's one we should have a whole separate podcast on.
Yeah.
We usually do, so it's nothing new, but yeah, it's interesting because.
Well, we will definitely have a Game of the Year podcast. You guys know we do it every year. I'm excited to have the panel back. We'll have Chad, probably Elo. We'll go through the whole list of nominees, pick the one we think is going to win, and then pick the one we want to win. It's what we always do. We have a lot of fun. There will be snubs. There will be heartbreak. I just tell my panel, take the emotion out of it. I know it's tough for a lot of people. You want to see your game be praised and loved. I think Ghost deserves to be on there, damn it. But I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be snubbed. I really do. I really think because of its Metacritic score and too much comparisons of Last of Us Part 2 and also it coming out after Last of Us Part 2.
I just want to say one thing about that.
Yeah.
Shame on the people for comparing those two games to each other.
I agree with that with the reviewers. A lot of reviewers did compare those two.
Even the people. How you feel about The Last of Us. If you love it, don't hate on Ghost of Tsushima.
They're two separate games.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they don't even. They have nothing in common.
Yeah, and that's the shame. The only common thing is the one thing. Sony Studios.
They're Sony exclusive, and they're both story-driven games.
Yep, it's Sony exclusive, and that's why they will be compared to each other. Fortunately, that's just how it goes, gentlemen. But I want to thank both of you, you beautiful human beings. There will be no Twitch stream tonight. Your boy is going to go play some Avengers. I'm excited, having a lot of fun with the story. We'll have a Spoilercast with these fellows and many more. Once we all beat the game, I hope everyone enjoys. Congratulations to JJ. He's got his first ever PS5 game. I pre-ordered 2K today. And congratulations
I thought that was
to me.
Avengers.
I signed up for the PlayStation 5 pre-order, so I'm getting one day one if we get that notification. And shout out to Lou, who's also getting one.
Hey.
I didn't sign up for one yet.
I highly recommend doing it, JJ. Just sign up, JJ. Just sign up. But shout out to my little cousin Allie, and shout out to JJ. Shout out to Lou. Skip to my Lou. Shout out to Joel. Shout out to Zyla. Shout out to Shannon. Shout out to everybody that was hanging out a little bit, enjoying us talk some bullshit. Hope you enjoyed the discussion. I apologize for some of the echoing. I don't know where the hell it was coming from. But I appreciate all the love and support on both channels, man. If you want to see the first 30 minutes of Avengers, because it's early access, it's not out yet. Not till Friday for most of you. Like Lou there. Pretty little Lou over there. Go check it out on the YouTube channel here. Smash the hell out of the like button. Comment down below what you thought of Ghost of Tsushima. Game of the Year nominee. Would you kill your uncle? Let us know down below. And also, definitely have a great night. I've been your fellow Strassman, the GG. Lou and JJ, we're outie.
Peace.